What's up, risk takers? Mr. Ultimate here with you today. We are doing our next update video for the Risk project. Today we are going to go over some of the differences between some of the NFT sets we have released and all of the details involved with that in video form so you can hear me talk about it and maybe have a better understanding. I know a lot of you who are already here from the beginning, you totally have this stuff down, but we got a lot of new people coming into this all the time, and I would like to funnel them into being able to look at these videos as well as read the announcements that we do. Everything here is very detail oriented, and that is on purpose by design. So we're going to be going over the differences between the Ultimate OG NFTs, the Ultimate OG NFT royalties that are associated specifically with that. We will also be looking into the royalty NFTs that we also have for the top 100 that has been successfully completed. We've got some other details to go over as well, but we're also going to get into the Super OG roll and all the things that have come to light in the last couple days because of that. So let's jump into this right now. But before we do that, let's look into this Risk Rewards NFT design here that we kind of have going for you with the war theme thing. We're going to try and keep everything war themed. Also take a look at some of the language below where the 4.18% came from and all that fun stuff that we're creating. So let's jump right into this beautiful looking graphic here. Now, of course, we're going to go over some of this stuff in detail more in this video, so stick with us and watch the whole thing. But the highlights here, the Ultimate OG holders earn 1 free mint from every collection. That's all the future collections we have planned. We have 3 of them planned. The way we are developing our game, you never know what we might do next, so keep your eyes on all that kind of stuff. We're designing the game so that we can continue to update the game as things go, and all those future releases that we will do, any NFTs are going to be included in all the stuff I'm just about to talk about right now. So 1 free mint, that's great. Those do stack. If you hold 25 Ultimate OG NFTs, you're going to get 25 free mints. The whitelists are a whole different story. We'll talk about that later. But the lifetime royalty holders earn 100% of the royalties generated from the secondary marketplace. This is also for all of the NFT projects that are coming up for the future releases, starting with the Risky Warthog Brigade mint coming up on September 9th. Now, those are all, again, future NFT releases. This includes anything that we have not already openly talked about. Now, this does exclude, however, the Ultimate OG NFTs. Those have their own royalties set aside for their own purposes. We'll talk about that more later in the video. The Super OG holders are entitled to receive 4.1% of all the NFT mints from upcoming collections. Yes, this includes the 3 we've already talked about and anything future that we don't even maybe have plans for quite yet. Keep your eye on that. I have a little bit of a nice paragraph right below this video here in this announcement that you're looking at as to where the 4.18% came from. Take a look at around. Everything seems to be war themed. We like that. After all, we are global domination. We're coming at you hard there. So the holders of the red OG NFT are entitled to receive a specially crafted, fully assembled OG tank NFT. There's an Easter egg in there for you guys. If you're paying attention, look around, talk about it in the chat. We have not talked about it personally yet, but it's fun stuff to keep your eyes on. We like to give all kinds of surprises coming in to the people who are holding our NFTs. Now, we have to talk about this here because this is very important. And I'm going to go ahead and read it and then I'll explain it. The primary means of unlocking the rewards will be through the Risk token. It's always risky to sell your Risk tokens. Just keep that in mind at all times, you guys. You will need to maintain a specified quantity of Risk tokens in your possession. So let me break it down for you. If you're holding on to, let's start with the lifetime holders royalty, right? We've got 100 of those. We've got 90 of the one version and 10 of the other version. There's 100 total. If you're holding on to these, when it comes time for those payouts to happen, and there will always be plenty of time, plenty of announcements, plenty of literature for you guys to read, maybe even some video updates, we will keep you up to date. The point is that when it comes time to cash in on that, if you're not holding a specific balance of Risk tokens in your wallet, you will not qualify. This is very, very important. This also keeps people from buying on the secondary, coming in, doing what they can, gobbling up these NFTs, selling them, and not even being a part of our system. This is something that we want to use to continue to hold up the balance and the value of the Risk token. We feel it's fair. We're giving away a whole lot, probably more than any other project I've ever really seen. I mean, we're giving away 4.8% of all of our mints to these holders. We're giving away 100% of our royalties across the board. None of that's going into the project or into the pockets of the founders. We're simply asking that you maintain a certain balance. We think it's fair. Now, what is that balance? That balance is going to be 66 million Risk tokens. For those of you who were here when we first came out with our pre-sale, you know that that's pretty much what you got in the pre-sale allotment. It was 66 million tokens. People who have never sold are already holding on to this. They have nothing to worry about. People who are out there and they're buying these on the secondary, be forewarned. You have to have that balance in your wallet to qualify for that. Now that goes for the holders of the lifetime royalty passes and the holders of the super OG roll. Basically, if it comes down to earning any of the royalties, you're going to have that balance. The only thing that is excluded from that is the ultimate OG because it has a whole different purpose. Again, we'll talk about that later in the balance. So there you have it. That's what this means. A lot of people were wondering what that was going to be. We feel that that's very fair. And if you'd like to jump in some of the comments and let us know, please let us know. You can always reach out to us too. But we are listening to the sound of the voices of our community because we love you. And without you, we have nothing. Let's move on and jump into the Discord and check out some of these details. All right, so jumping into our beautiful Discord home, we're going to go over some of the details of the things we just spoke about, starting here with the newly formed Super OG, Super Perk, and the Super OG Roll. We already know about some of the stuff we've talked about here, and yes, that includes all of the future releases. That is a big time perk right there. 4.18% of everything we do is going into the holders of that Super OG Roll. How do you become a Super OG? There's only one way to do this, and you must own one of each of the 5 UOG NFTs. Check out the action and check out the differences in all 5 of these on the secondary market. There are 5 different ones. It's good for you to note if you're new to this, there's only 25 of the gold UOGs in existence. That means there's only going to be a total of a possibility of 25 people who can have this super prestigious Super OG roll. When it comes time to dealing out the royalties earned from all of this, of course, it can be divided into no more than 25 equal parts because, of course, there's only 25 people who can have it. We don't expect even that there may be 25 people by that time because some of the smart people jumped on some of these early and they're holding on to some of the reds and some of the golds, the harder ones to get. That's yet to be seen, but we are going to obviously be splitting that into the part of the people who have the roll. So if there's only 15 at the time, then 15 people will take that share. And yes, you can actually double up or triple up or whatever on this roll. If you have 2 complete sets, you get 2 of the 25 equal parts. Important things to consider. We already went over this first bullet point right here. Now, you must maintain all 5 UOGs in the same wallet. You can't split these up there. They all have to be in the same wallet. Of course, if you have 2 different wallets with 2 different complete sets, that's a different story. But I don't want you guys thinking you can split these up because you cannot. If you have one listed for sale or you will lose the SOG roll, however, you can always get it back by delisting that asset that's for sale or reobtaining it with a secondary market purchase. This does not mean that if you list one that you do not qualify. That does not mean that at all. It simply means that at the time of the dispersal of the funds, you cannot have any of these 5 missing for any reason whatsoever. The 4.18% share of the ADA raise for the NFT is a gross share, not a net share. In other words, that means these payouts are based on the total ADA raised before any of the costs associated with minting a project, not after. That's kind of a big deal. That's a big business move right there. We want to show that 4.18% is very, very valuable and very, very important. So the full SOG payouts will take place no later than 7 days after the completion of said NFT release. These ADA amounts will be posted publicly and airdropped into the qualifying wallets. Everybody here is going to know exactly what's going on at all times in the Risk project. If you want to become the next Super OG and stake your claim, you got to click the link below and check out the ultimate UOG NFTs here on JPG.STORE. Good luck with that. And I would like to personally congratulate all of you who were there early. It pays to trust in the people who are building this project. We are doing these things and putting as much back into the hands of the people who support us as possible, while also leaving the door open for new people to come in. And if you decide to take part in any of the things we're doing, and if you decide to whale in or ape in, the door's wide open for you. We appreciate you. Also, stay tuned for an update coming as to how you can obtain some more roles for the whitelist that are coming up simply by being a Risk token holder. More on that later. Okay, let's now jump into the royalty NFT, which is completely different than the UOG we just talked about. So each of the top 100 Risk holders can receive a specially airdropped royalty NFT. We have already gone through this. This has already happened. It was a great success. People are very happy. And you know what? There's not too many people who are selling these right now in the secondary market. We've got a 5K ADA floor on those. I think only one of them is listed at the time of making this video, which means we're at a 1% rate. People are diamond handing. That is extremely, extremely bullish. Now, to highlight that, for those of you who don't know, that 100% of all the royalties earned from the secondary market of all future Risk NFT sales for life will be split up. How are we doing that? Let's go over some of the perks of this prestigious NFT. The multicolored version, there's 90 of those. They will have an equal share in 80% of all the royalties generated. They will also have a bonus of 3x marketplace in-game items. We will talk more about that when the time comes in a future video update, but that's pretty cool. Those are going to be very, very fun to take part in. You will also be entitled to 1 free mint of all future Risk NFT releases. So it kind of has almost like a UOG perk built right into it. Let's move on. The money green version, this big bad boy right there, there's only 10 of these. These went to the top 10 holders at the time of the airdrop. Now, this is limited to only 10 NFTs. They will have an equal share in 20% of all the royalties generated. So that 20% is going to be divided into 10 equal shares. You will have a bonus of 10 times the marketplace in-game items. You will also be entitled to 1 free mint of all future NFT Risk releases. Now, I would like to go ahead and highlight something for you guys right now. Let's just say that you have the Super OG role and you also have one of these NFTs. To maintain that balance of 66 million Risk tokens in your wallet, that is not something you have to double up on. If you have both of them, you do not have to double that. That is simply the minimum balance that you can maintain to receive any of the royalty payouts. So there was a few people asking those questions in there. I wanted to clear that up so you can hear that straight from the horse's mouth. And before we move on to finish out this video, let's take a look at some of the UOG perks that we talked about a long time ago that are separate from the NFT royalties created, because these need to be understood. There will be a 10% royalty fee, of which 100% of these fees will go strictly towards buying up our official partnership project assets off the secondary market and used for UOG prizes, raffles, and giveaways. This is the royalties that are generated from the ultimate OG NFTs themselves. This is the only thing that is separate from the royalties that are generated that go to the holders of the royalty NFT. Let's get that clear so everybody knows that there is actually a difference between that two. And we're going to go ahead and finish up this video by talking about the upcoming mint. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up this video by talking about the next big upcoming event here in the Risk project. We're talking about the Warthogs Brigade. Here is your important information. The collection details a total supply of 33. The mint date is on September 9th. The price is going to be only ADA. That's a pretty good deal right there. Or you can do 70 ADA plus 10 ADA worth of Risk tokens. I actually recommend those of you who are really into supporting this project for the long term and you're here, we like you to go ahead and have the option. But if you do the 10 ADA worth of Risk tokens, just know this: 100% of all the Risk tokens used to mint will be burnt. We will be implementing this in all of our future mints, so it's just a great way to reduce the supply as we increase the demand. You've got a winning formula right there. Keep that in mind. You can register your wallet right there. And for the whitelisted role, the 2x role, the 3x role, and now the 5x role, this is only reserved for those with the Super OG role. That's just a nice little extra perk for those of you who have collected those roles. But you can get up to a max of 3 times the whitelist on there. Now, we know that we're going to be giving away a whole bunch of stuff. We've got 450 total free mints combined. Of course, this includes those excludes those of any of the NFTs that are good for a free mint that are listed on secondary at the time. So keep an eye on that, because I think most people will be delisting those. People are stacking those sky high. They're getting a bunch of free mints. The breakdown's 90% of the NFTs for whitelist and 10% for the public. Know this as well, folks. This is the first time I've talked about it. That's why I like to do these update videos. We are going to be over allocating the whitelist. So that's very, very important. It doesn't matter which role you have. It's going to be over allocated. It will be first come, first serve, but we will be reserving 10% for the public. More details on this and how it will be worked out to be announced. Last thing to mention here before we close out this video, well, a couple things to mention here for you guys. Number one, if you are an ultimate OG role holder, you are entitled to at least 1 whitelist for this mint. This is also going to be included in the next 2 mints that we have planned already. So keep that in mind. If you have not done that, just open a ticket or jump in the chat, tag me, tag Johnny, tag any of the mods or any of the team members who can give you those whitelists, and go ahead and receive that. We want to spread this out as far as we can within our community. Speaking of which, there's a little bit of alpha here for you guys we have not talked about in the public, but we want to also be able to reward people who are simply holding our token. But we want you to hold the tokens that we think is fair and valuable to be able to participate in these things as well. So if you hold 20 million Risk tokens in your wallet and you can prove it, please just open up a ticket and tag any of us as well. You will be entitled to at least one whitelist of this upcoming Warthogs Brigade mint. Oh yeah, the cream is rising to the top. We are very, very excited. We are continuing to find ways to reward our community and give out the most. If you think that what we're doing is valid and you think it's worthy, go out there and tell people about what's going on in Risk. Take it upon yourself to enter into other people's chats and tell people about what we're doing. Tell people about the community that we're building. Tell people about the max giveaways that we're possibly giving to the valuable Cardano community. We put Cardano first. We value that. We value the people who are helping us here build this. Go ahead and get risky in the tweets. Go ahead out there, you guys. You have our full permission to be the people who are ambassadors of our project and get people out there to see the way a community should be run, the way a project should be run, and people should start demanding a little bit higher quality within the projects that they're in, and more people being incentivized to give more weight to the community keeps Cardano healthy, and it keeps separating the cream from the rest, where the cream does rise to the top. Peace out, and God bless.